Oh, hey guys. This video is for my entertainment and education purposes only. Any and everything I say could be wrong. Do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Anyhow, so I just watched a little bit of Black Scout Survival, and it's more about the war in Iran. And I actually kind of went over the whole how all this Iran war started with I was kind of discussing it with somebody in a comments thread, and this is how it started. Watch. Okay, so like I said, I only watch like a handful of channels, right? Just to like get a pulse on. And Asmongold is so like if there's a big story going on, Asmongold will do a reaction video to it. Okay? So if there's some big story that is like sweeping the internet, right? Well, Asmongold's gonna be on top of it, because he's gonna make a bunch of money. If there's some big story that's everybody's talking about, if Asmongold does a reaction video to that story, it's gonna bring in tons of money, right? So maybe that's what they mean when they say follow the money. So right. So if I want to know what's the big story, Asmongold is a good resource just to find out what is everybody talking about. Now, as far as what Asmongold's take on it is, you decide for yourself. I'm not here to tell you. You figure it out. I can give you I already gave my opinion in the last video. If you want to know my opinion, watch my last video. But anyways, so this was kind of like, so this is how it went before the United States of America officially went into Iran and started, killing the terrorist or whatever. The big story was that how it started is Iran, okay, like they started there was like water shortages and like resource shortages, and what ended up happening is the Iranian people started to protest the government because of the water shortages. Like they weren't getting, so they were paying for water and all this shit, and then their water's getting cut off. And this had to have gone on long enough, well, allegedly, for large populations of Iranians to start protesting the government because they don't have access to water. Okay, first of all, imagine if that happened in the United States of America. People would be pissed. You would probably have a bunch of people out protesting the government, and shit would start getting crazy, right? Well, allegedly, this is what happened in Iran, okay? Now, and when I was watching those videos, like, check this out. Like, the people that were, like, upset about the water getting cut off and stuff like this and that, you could see the videos of them out, and stuff. And they were like middle class fucking college students and shit. These, like, you would think it'd be like all these poor Iranians and shit. No, like Iran looks like it's doing pretty good, dude. When you look at the people that were protesting because of the water being cut off and shit. Oh, it's all these fucking, like, they're dressed nice. They're fucking doing they're doing better than me. So I must be a loser, right? Because I live in America and they're doing better than me. So remember, this is all before this, right? So then shortly after that, then the story was that the government shut off the internet. So the government shut off the internet, right? And then shortly after the government shut off the internet, then all the allegations started stirring around, like TikTok and Twitch streamers, that these protesters are getting killed. Well, how convenient. Now they're all getting killed now that we can't see. Like, now you can't show us because there is no internet, so people can't, upload videos to the internet of the government killing civilians. But it's happening. Now, who's telling us this? Internet influencers, right? Interesting. And then when they do show a video, it's like this little clip, and it's like you can't even see anything. It's like a 1 minute clip, and then there's supposedly there's a couple of body bags or something, but you can't even see, like you can't see shit. And that's all the information that ever surfaced, like on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube, was just like a couple of 1 minute videos, and then of course like the Asmongold, who's doing his response videos, like, oh, look at those body bags. Oh, and Asmongold is like going, oh, they're killing. Like, he's certain that all this is happening, like without question. Well, how would you know? Oh, well, I know some people in Iran. Oh, yeah. Well, Asmongold's a millionaire. So if Asmongold's a millionaire, who would he know in Iran? Other millionaires? Like, you think Asmongold is like associating with people even of my economic status in Iran? Of course not. Of course not. Any kind of correspondence he's having with any people that live in Iran are people that are like within his economic class, and he's a millionaire, a multi-millionaire. And so that's where he's getting his source of information. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. To even think about this is ridiculous. Now, mind you, this is all still before the U.S. started invading Iran with all the bombs and the assassins killing the president of Iran. All this shit. This is before this. And then Asmongold is saying, man, we need to go in Iran and kill those fuckers. I don't know why Trump isn't doing anything about it. This is the influence. So the influencers have center stage, right? So then what? About a week later, then Trump sends the U.S. military into Iran. Okay. So what happened? Is it what Asmongold said? Is that what happened? And that's why we're there. So let me get this straight. So all these people got displaced because of their lack of access to clean running water, food, and basic necessities. And I mean like tens of thousands of them. Well, we have tens of thousands of Americans that don't have access to clean running water and food and shelter, and they're dying by the tens of thousands every year of homelessness. And nobody here cares. Not only does nobody here care, everybody in America celebrates that U.S. displaced citizens fall through the cracks into abject homeless poverty and die. They celebrate it. I know this sounds like an over-exaggeration, that I'm being hyperbolic. This is why I keep reiterating, dude, I've been talking about what I'm talking about since 2008. If you haven't been engaging people in this conversation about tens of thousands of U.S. displaced citizens slipping into abject homeless poverty and dying in homelessness, if you haven't been engaging people in this conversation, then what would you know about it? Like, if you wouldn't like, don't you understand? Like, I've been doing this since 2008. Like the majority of Americans celebrate that U.S. displaced citizens die from homelessness by the tens of thousands every year. The majority of Americans celebrate their own people dying and the reason they celebrate is because those are the poopy people, those are the poopy Americans that are embarrassing us. So, but where's the facts? I mean, where are you getting if this is true, I want to see the receipts. Like, show me that this is true. Oh, all I have to do is look at some videos on YouTube, right? Like, dude, Americans have got to be some of the stupidest motherfuckers on the planet, dude. I would be careful believing what they tell you you scored on your IQ test. You know, like, trust no one, bro. I mean, this is stupid. Okay, so when our own U.S. citizens when our own U.S. displaced citizens who have been like what's the word I'm thinking? Have been deprived of access to clean running water and food and shelter, and when our own U.S. citizens who have been deprived of access to clean running water, food, and shelter, basic necessities, die from homelessness by the tens of thousands every year, a conservative estimate would be 30,000 a year. Not only does America not care, America celebrates that. What a good thing. You know, it's like eugenics. It's like, yes, we're getting rid of all the defects, right? Yay! America, fuck yeah, right? But when Iran, and this is allegedly Iran shuts off the internet and then starts killing the civilians who are pissed off because the government is depriving them of access to water and food and shelter, and they start dying by the tens of thousands. Well, now Americans are upset, and we need to go in there and take care of them terrorists. Just like George W. Bush wanted to. We got to go in there and take care of them terrorists. Everybody get your guns. We're going to go over there and save them peoples from them evils. Right, yeah. This isn't just an excuse to go shoot some guns and kill some people. Huh? No, we got to save them. Them's as innocent victims in Iran. This is being assassinated by the evil terrorist. If you aren't with us, you're a scud. But what about all the tens of thousands that are dying here? Not only do you not care, you celebrate it. And all you do is spread all your venom all over the place of how those people deserve to die. They need to pull themselves up. But you see how none of this makes any sense? And this is why Trump never officially stated that the reason we're going to Iran is to save those people. That was never like officially stated. That was just the big talk by all the center stage internet influencers who have everybody captivated with a bunch of confirmation bias bullshit. Right? So what are we doing there if we're not there to save the innocent civilians of Iran from the evil terrorists who are killing them by the tens of thousands, right? See, none of this makes any sense. None of it does. Again, we got tens of thousands that are dying every year from, deprivation. And again, and these are U.S. citizens, and America celebrates their death. America wants all of them to die. Like, why don't we just drop all the pretenses and just go out there and kill all the U.S. homeless citizens and get it over with already? Then, Jesus Christ, like, dude, you're a fucking retard. Why not just let the retards take over and kill everybody that they think deserves to die? Like, it's just totally retarded in every aspect, okay? So anyways, we're talking, so I'm like, I can't even watch Black Scout Survival anymore. Like, he sounds like a snake oil salesman the way he talks. It's just, but see, you can't, they're all like this. They're all like this. Name the best one that you think is the best YouTuber or Twitch streamer or bit shooter. They're all the same. They're all the same as Black Scout Survival and all these. They're all the same, bro. It's fucking retarded, dude. It's low IQ content for the low IQ masses. Here is another example too where the Bible's right. Like when the Bible says, many are called, but few are chosen. Narrow is the path, but wide is the gate to fucking ruination. You know, that the Bible says that the majority of the people of the world are just fucking retards. And that's wide as the gate. All the retards take the wide, broad path off the edge of a fucking cliff. Only the few take the narrow path to escape it. See, even the Bible says the majority of the world is just a bunch of fucking retards. Even the Bible says this. And this is what's funny about the Bible. How many things does the Bible have to be right about before ignorant people start to look at this and go, maybe the Bible might be more right than I assume, Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, the more you look at the Bible, the more it's like, what the fuck? This is like, there's more truth in the Bible than anything I've ever found, bro. But then all these people are always shitting on the Bible. I don't get it, dude. Whatever, who cares? I'm not here to preach. Believe whatever the fuck you want. I don't even care. So anyways, okay, so it's all about war, right? Iran, war. We got to save the innocent people from the deprivation. They're being deprived of access to clean running water and food by the government, and they're all dying by the tens of thousands, even though that's happening here. And like the news will give you, they're not even trying to hide it. They'll give you daily updates on it. Oh, yeah. Oh, in the last year, probably, they're not even trying to hide it. They'll tell you straight up, oh, in the last year, I'd say probably about 50,000 U.S. displaced citizens died from homelessness just in this last year. And on average, that's probably what it is, about average every year. Nobody cares. Not only does nobody care, everybody's like, yay, good job, America. Let's bump that number up. By next year, we should have that number up another 10,000, like 60,000 instead of 50,000. But when it's happening in some other country, OMG, it's the war industrial complex time to, send the troops. But you don't, see, this is the thing, bro. Remember Judge Judy? I know everybody hates Judge Judy. I love Judge Judy. You know what Judge Judy would say about it? If you apply Judge Judy logic to this, apply Judge Judy logic. Put your listening ears on, right? Apply Judge Judy logic. This is Judge Judy logic. If something doesn't make sense, it's probably not true. See, it doesn't make sense that tens of thousands of U.S. displaced citizens are dying from deprivation of access to things like clean running water, food, and shelter. And nobody cares, and most people celebrate it. But then when the same thing is happening in Iran, oh my God, everybody needs to get up and open up your wallets and start contributing so that the U.S. military can go in there and save all those innocent victims in Iran. See, those two things don't make sense. And what media does, all media, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch streamers, bit shooters, they all try to make it make sense. They all desperately, on a daily and hourly basis, try to make it make sense. Make something that doesn't make sense, force it to make sense. Like, this must make sense. No matter how completely retarded it is, we're going to triple down to make sure that it makes sense, right? It's just pure retardation, bro. It's pure retardation. So we're talking about war. We've been talking about war forever. Israel, Palestine, now Iran, Russia, Ukraine, Venezuela, all this war, right? All this war. You notice that? Israel and Palestine, galaxy far, far away. Star Wars, Israel, Palestine. It's a galaxy far, far away. Iran, a galaxy far, far away. Venezuela, galaxy far, far away. Russia and Ukraine, galaxy far, far away. But here in America, there's nothing going on here. There's no war happening here, right? Right? Oh, if tens of thousands of people are dying here, it's because they brought it upon themselves, because they didn't pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Dude, this is psycho, dude. America's fucking retarded. Just like every other superpower in the world. They're all retards. And everybody that goes along with it are fucking as retarded. if not more so. So, but what about now? Now, do you guys remember this conspiracy theory? Remember this? It said the future is now. Remember that report that came out called "The Future Is Now"? It was released by NASA, and it had all this. It was a a PowerPoint. It was a PowerPoint presentation put out by someone, and it had to do with NASA. So it was basically presented to NASA, and it had all these bullet points of like that the next war is not going to be with some other country. The war is going to be on its own people. Remember that? And then they list all these different technologies that the powers that be were going to use against their own people. All these different technologies, and all this shit, microwaves, RF, the radio frequencies, radiation, radiation emitting from cell phones, all these things. And so the war was going to be internal, not a war in a galaxy far, far away like Israel and Palestine, and a war in a galaxy far, far away in Iran, and a war in a galaxy far, far away like with Russia and Ukraine, a war in a galaxy far, far away like, southern Mexico and Venezuela. And you notice how everything is everywhere else, but here, man, ain't nothing going on. And anything that is, it just can be rationalized away. Oh, tens of thousands of U.S. displaced citizens die from deprivation of access to things like clean running water and food. Oh, that's just that's just those poopy people that deserve to die. Yeah. Well, I thought when people deserve to die, they have to go through the court system. Like if America wants to condemn a person or people to death, it has to go through a process of like justice, through the judicial system, has to go before a court, before the peers, the fucking blah blah, has to go. That's how in America. That's how we determine whether we can condemn a person to death. We have to have it has to be done through the law, the Constitution, the law, with judges and lawyers and a jury and all this stuff. But when it comes to the homeless, no, they deserve to die. There is no reason to bring it through a court a lot to first decide whether they should die or not. No, those homeless people, they're just dying because they deserve to. See, this is America. America is fucking retarded. America celebrates when tens of thousands of U.S. displaced citizens die from homelessness every year by tens of thousands. We all like, yeah! We love it. Nobody ever questions it, says, wait a second, if they deserved to die, shouldn't it have gone through the process of law, and it should have gone before a judge and attorneys to like see, is it really true that all those people deserve to die? Oh, it doesn't matter now. Oh, it doesn't. They're already dead, so it doesn't. Oh, well, then why don't we just start killing whoever we want? If I think that that the person that works at the store up here deserves to die, I should just be able to go kill him, right? No, why not? What if I believe that the homeless guy spare changing up there at the gas station deserves to die, and I'd go kill him? It should be okay, right? I mean, well, what's the problem? Like, he was gonna die of his own poor life decisions anyways, because he's a loser. Just start killing them all. Oh no. Oh, we don't need to, because they'll kill themselves, right? See, okay, but now wait a second. So they're all committing suicide then? See, what's the story? What's going on? But now remember the big conspiracy theory on that thing, and everybody made a big deal because NASA accidentally slipped it out on the internet, and some people grabbed the document before NASA took it down, and it was titled It was titled "The Future Is Now." And it was talking about Borgs, like Star Trek shit, like Borgs and stuff, remember? And how the war was not going to be with another country. The next war was going to be a war within this country warring among itself. Basically, the people of power warring against the powerless, right? So that's not happening here yet. Okay, but what about all those conspiracy theorists, even like the Richie from Boston's and stuff, they were all about it, right? So it's not happening though? So all those tens of thousands, like that I keep bringing up, the displaced U.S. citizens that are dying by the tens of thousands, that's not part of this war. Why would you assume it isn't? Sounds like class warfare to me, right? But because the official story isn't that it's class warfare, therefore it isn't. Well, what if the official story came out and like Fox News started reporting that this is a class warfare going on in this country, and that homeless people are being murdered by the tens of thousands every year, and that it's a class warfare? What if there's some secret, top secret information that got leaked? That this whole time it's been a conspiracy to kill all the homeless. Then it would I just like, what's all this talk about Iran? What's all this talk about Palestine? What's all this talk about Ukraine? Like, what's going on in America? Like, America is a shithole, dude. And these guys, they do everything. They're so desperate to try to talk and act as though America is not this big shithole, You know, that's how Martin Luther King was killed, because he was exposing that America is just a shithole. And he wasn't referencing racism at all. He was talking about like money and class, and that there's two Americas, the rich. So what Martin Luther King was saying was the same thing that George Carlin was saying. In America, there's a big club and you ain't in it. And that's the club that they use to beat you over your head every day. And that these are the two Americas. There's the big club in America that you aren't in. And that big club has access to all kinds of financial freedom and socialism. Socialism for the big club. They get it all. And everyone else, all you get is beat with that club every day. Those are the two Americas. The big club that you aren't in, that has all the access to all the resources and wealth and everything else. And then the other America is all you who get beat with that club. George Carlin and Martin Luther King were saying the same thing. And when Martin Luther King was saying it, that's when they killed him. And I can corroborate this. I could totally corroborate this if anybody were open-minded enough to listen. It's very easy to discover this for yourself. Martin Luther King started talking about the big club when Martin Luther King shifted his focus from racism to economic inequality. And when Martin Luther King shifted his focus to economic inequality, it included all races. He was defending poor Appalachian whites and all kinds of other people. Martin Luther King actually realized he was wrong about race when he discovered that economic inequality is the bigger issue. He admitted it, that there is a bigger issue than racism. When he discovered it, he admitted he was wrong. And that's when he started defending the poor Appalachian whites and all kinds of other people. It was called the Poor People's Campaign. And that's when he started talking about what George Carlin was talking about, that there's two Americas. There's the big club, and the big club has access to all the wealth and resources and everything they want, a big socialist circle jerk for the big club. And then there's the other America that's everyone else that's not part of the big club. And everyone else, all of you get, is beat by that big club all day, every day. Martin Luther King was saying this. He described it as the two Americas. The exact same thing that George Carlin talked about years later in his comedy skits about the big club that you aren't in. And when Martin Luther King was talking about it, that's coincidentally when he got assassinated. So they didn't care when he was talking about all this stuff about racism. It was only when Martin Luther King was over the target about the big club and how you aren't in it, and that there's two Americas. There's the big club that you aren't in, and then there's you who get beat by that big club. See, he was over the target. He wasn't with racism as much as he was with when he started talking about the big club. Once he started talking about the big club, gone. And he started talking about the big club when he was set to launch the Poor People's Campaign. And you can look all this up for yourself. They're not trying to hide this shit. Now, am I preaching that Martin Luther King was some saint? No. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's just the truth is the truth. It doesn't matter, dude. The truth is the fucking truth. And that's the truth. But yeah, no, remember the war where it's like the future is now? It was a big conspiracy. Richie from Boston's and all of them were talking about it. Well, what's going on? They're all talking about wars in a galaxy far, far away. They're never talking about what the war going on here. Anyways, just another rant about the same old shit. See you, boys.